delay, everyone. At this time, I need motion to approve the agenda. If there's any additional deletions. All right. Thank you, Gary. For the record, Mark did notify me he is stuck in another city and cannot make it tonight. So will not be here. Thank you, Gary. Mr. Cohen.
I'm on Delation 11B, Economic Development Committee.
Consent agenda item 8A. And
What are you doing?
well, it has to be broken out. I would like for the town clerk to look at listen to either read the minutes or listen to the Granicus a little further and focus on the part where there's an explanation for.
Yeah, I don't even know on that. Are you deleting it or are you moving it someplace else?
Well, I'm deleting it for further review.
What do you mean?
Well, I was gonna give the county, the town clerk direction right now. So if you could look at the Granicus and go back to where, Jim Waterwitz is giving an explanation of a financial model where the worst case scenario was asked by a council member. That was not what happened in the meeting. That was not the wording.
So you want to move it to just old business items
Well,
so we can discuss it more, or?
that's sufficient. That's the direction I'd like to give the town clerk.
My recommendation would be, Gordon, would you, with the council's permission, if you get with the town clerk to actually show her what you're talking about,
Okay.
put it back for the next meeting,
Right.
since obviously none of us know exactly what you are thinking. Is that okay?
Fine.
Okay. Thank you. I guess maybe we did something else? Anyone? Any other?
No, but I'd like to make a point. I would like to thank Jim and Miss Massey, since this is on the consent agenda. Current year-to-date tax revenue collection is at 99.4, right? That's amazing. So I think that I just don't want to approve that through a consent agenda without saying thank you to those who worked to get it at 99.4.
Thank you, Gary.
I'm also sorry. Item 8E on the consent agenda, I'd like to go back to new business. Yes.
So new business B.
Yes. Any motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
One more item. Old business item 10A. I was informed by attorney that they would like to have more additional time to review the matter and put it on for the agenda for 2 weeks from today.
And I also wanted to make sure that we had consent of full council to move forward with the research and the ask. I was not sure of that after the last meeting.
Well, basically, what we, can we best leave it to this table for the next 2 weeks, to give you additional time to review the general statute and to review our policy currently.
Right, and I wanted to confirm that I had the majority of council approving my research on that topic.
Okay, so then we're gonna leave that on the agenda just for a quick vote. So the attorney can clarify.
Well, you have to vote the last time, we tabled it to this meeting.
She's asking for time to
Well,
clarify something.
Additional.
She'd like something clarified for her, so we can leave it on the agenda.
All right.
okay? It'll be quick.
Okay.
Am I understanding that, just for clarification
Yeah,
purposes?
that's exactly right, and I apologize, I had meant to send an email out asking, confirming that I did have the authority to, look into that topic, and I did not get it out.
Okay, so
So I apologize for that.
make the clarification. Mr. Cohen? Okay, this time I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Dana's made the motion, all in favor? Record stand is unanimous. There's no presentation. This time is public comments. As everyone knows, these meetings are recorded, so everything can be heard on the internet. Basically, keep it respectful, and you can't give your 3 minutes to someone else. You have 3 minutes to speak. State your name when you come up. You're under no other constraints. So, our comments. Time, Michael Falkenberry.
Michael Falkenberry, 519 Pickett Circle. On June 30th, 2014, former town manager Joe Fivas sent me the following. Mr. Falkenberry, per Ms. Piontek's previous email, for email address mail.indiantrail.org/email for your request, I have been told that the quantity is around 408,872 emails. We can process approximately 1,000 emails per 4 hours. The estimated approximate cost for the town to process this request is between $60,000 and $75,000. This does not include the about 20 hours of IT consulting time or any legal review costs. Reimbursement cost will be around $10 for the CDs required. We will begin processing these emails immediately. It may take substantial time to complete. This PR was for an email account being used by an elected official using a password and logon provided by the Town of Indian Trail IT contractor without the knowledge of council members several years ago. The email account turned out to be the computer server, storage files for the Town of Indian Trail. No concerns were ever made for my huge request by sitting council members, who then included Mayor Pro Tem David Cohn. Yet when a large PR request was made last year costing $60,000, a lot of drama took place. Former town manager Scott Koffel told me who made that request last year. No outrage for my large request in 2014, and when someone else makes a large PR request in 2016, then it becomes a double standard. I do believe the person who made that request last year has a good lawsuit. Shirley Howe, you are welcome for using information obtained from several of my PRs to initiate your SBI investigation against former town manager Joe Fivas after he had resigned from his position. Nothing like being vindictive. Also, according to an invoice, Linda Angus of Barker & Jones did in fact charge the Town of Indian Trail for speaking to Ms. Howe in a phone conversation pertaining to the SBI investigation. Ms. Wyman is on record saying the SBI investigation had nothing to do with the Town of Indian Trail, which is not true. Linda Angus was also involved in the termination of a town staff member. That too was listed on a Barker & Jones invoice. I also have noticed recently a staff member hasn't attended council meetings since the firing of former town manager Scott Koffel. Hope the person doesn't feel they have been jilted and want revenge in some way, possibly by compensation. That would be extortion. Also, the person brought it upon themselves. It would seem someone here enjoys making background checks on individuals as a hobby. For what purpose, and do they have the authority to do so? We don't know. I wonder who it could be. And in closing, I want to wish all the future mothers, and grandmothers a happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Amanda Falkenberry?
Guess I have to hold this. I have a question. My husband received an email from the town clerk that stated that agendas would not be available till Monday before the meetings, and you had to go out to the website. So my question is that now our current policy where me as a resident will not receive an agenda or be able to look at the agenda or packets prior to the meeting unless I get on Monday. If that is the new policy, it limits the research time of residents to take a look at the packet and see what they may need to research and bring questions before the council. It also restricts individuals who may need to change work schedules to attend a meeting to either become informed or to ask questions. If it was changed, I'd also like to know who authorized the change. I'd also make one other observation. As far as our committees, when I go back to look to see if our committees are meeting and pull agendas and meeting notes, I'm finding a lock at those. So my question is, are we not posting them? Or are our committees not meeting due to a lack of a quorum? So I would like that answer as well. Thank you.
Mike, Ed?
Mike Head, 2105 Bonjour Boulevard. I want to thank the mayor and council for allowing me to speak. I want to thank the council for voting on the resolution at the last town council for the mini roundabout at the intersection of Bonjour Boulevard and Poplin. As most of you know, Poplin Elementary is on the east side of this intersection. What we did at the next Bonterra HOA meeting, the board voted to send out a poll to our residents concerning the mini roundabout on next door. And at 5 o'clock today, I pulled those results. And it's been out for about a week now. We had 25% of our residents respond. The results were 63% yes and would sign an online petition, 33% no, 5% would say yes but would not sign the petition. Below that, if anybody's aware of next door, there were about 30 comments about the situation. Just to give you a little further background, I'm better known as Mr. Mike in these communities because since the beginning of the school, I stand out most days and monitor traffic. And I'll write up a school patrol discussing the day's events. And I received comments from Bonterra, Annandale, Fieldstone Farms, Lake Park, and many other communities. So I probably, standing out there, have more knowledge of what's going on out there than anybody else at this point in time. I'm usually out there from 6:30 to when the last car leaves the school property, which is approximately 7:30 to 7:35. School opens at 7 and starts promptly at 7:30. On average, there are 300 entering and exiting the school entrance. This doesn't count parents who are driving kids and teenagers to other surrounding schools, nor does it count anyone driving to work. So with that in mind, I estimate anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 cars in this 30-minute period. I watch and I cringe several times a day at close calls. I see and talk to residents who take their life and their children's life in their hands walking the kids to school. At the beginning of the school year, I saw on average 40 to 50 parents and kids walking to school. One of the problems is the caution lights do not last long enough for the parents to take their kids across the school. I think a more timely and economical and a much safer solution is one for the DOT to rescind the California right and get crossing guards. We not only would have a safe environment for our parents and kids, but also would eliminate the problems of U-turn, which is a big problem in Annandale and the other surrounding communities. I saw this in action when we had a deputy directing traffic. It was Austin. I thank the residents in this area, thank David Cohn and Captain Coble for efforts in supporting this cause. Thank you.
And there's one other one that was sent to me because she was sick and couldn't make it tonight and asked me if I read her comments. I'll be reading for Michelle Reese. Thank you for allowing me to have my 3 minutes in this way. At the last council meeting, there was talk of a roundabout at the entrance of Poplin Elementary in Bonterra. As a resident of Bonterra, my neighbors and I think there's a better way. A roundabout would be there 24/7, 365 days a year. The problem only happens on school days for about 30 minutes in the morning and 10 to 15 minutes in the afternoon. With the roundabout, how would the walkers cross? I would encourage the council to work with the UCSO and the Board of Education to get a crossing guard for that intersection. It seems like the most logical and economically sound choice, as it is only a 30-minute problem on 190 days of the year. We do not appreciate the council's, we do appreciate the council's actions thus far on the issue and look forward to the solution, and you will hopefully provide. I would also like to talk about the audio recordings of the meetings. The current system that starts with a G is not very user-friendly. YouTube, however, is. I would like to ask that the audio of the council meetings be uploaded to YouTube so a resident may listen in without having to call the Geek Squad to download everything it takes to listen to them as they are currently uploaded. I hope I have not made the mayor gavel himself for going over 3 minutes. I didn't read that last section. And again, thank you for allowing me this time. Okay. I will put that in for-
Mr. Mayor, is that the last one?
That is the last one.
I can either get up there and make a comment or make a comment here. So I have a comment about the crossing guard and
No, by all means, public comments, make it public comments and keep it less than 3
well,
minutes.
I think Mike knows this, and we very much appreciate him out there every day, making sure those children are safe. He gets up there early in the morning and writes a report for the neighborhood, and that's fantastic. But I did have just for council's sake, I had a conversation with Jared McGraw. I think he's the head of public safety for the Greene County Schools, is that correct? And also, he spoke with Chase, and we had several conversations just this week. And it looks like, can't say 100%, but it looks like that they're gonna put a crossing guard out there. It's the most optimistic I've ever seen that come across, and that's exactly what we need. And I appreciate all your hard work, Mike, and everybody else that's been out there keeping those kids safe. But next year, I think we'll have what we need, so I'll let you know.
Thank you. At this time, I'll close the public comments. Which brings us to law enforcement update. Captain Cole.
I'll be really brief, I promise.
You say that every time.
Probably the big thing that just wanted to talk about was Patrick and myself and Todd had a meeting at Sardis Elementary the other morning. Future roundabout project over there, and had to meet with the schools and get everybody on the same page. I think it went very well, and we're all on the same page, so the unified voice going back to NCDOT. I think Patrick's got some good information to go back with and keep that project moving along. We've had a lot of break-ins and homes under construction. Here's of late, Detective Tyler Kale, one of our detectives working cases here in Indian Trail, has been working diligently, putting out cameras. He's augmented his shift to come out and work a night shift, trying to work with our crime analyst to determine when the best probability of the next theft and all is going to take place. And finally, just good old hard work and shopping on the internet, found what he was looking for. These houses under construction are getting a lot of refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, things like that taken from them when they get closer to the end phase, or if they're a showcase home or a model home. So Union Grove neighborhood that's being built here on Unionville Indian Trail Road have been hit pretty good and hard over that. And so Detective Kale, along with Burroughs and Mosley, were able to get on Offer Up, a little website where you see the guy hanging off the cliff and he's wanting to sell something, and they show up and buy it for him. And long and short, they were able to arrange for a meeting, and they met with a guy at a mini storage building to buy some appliances. And turns out they cleared a whole pile of cases out of Union and Mecklenburg County for construction theft. So find this guy, Bobby David Pate. Don't buy anything from this guy. The direction microwave may not be warranted, but yeah, he's probably not a refrigerator either. But we've got a whole bunch of appliances down to our office and working with local builders and trying to get it back in the hands of homes. He had a $20,000 bond on Friday night when we got done with him, and then we took some more reports over the weekend that were just discovered prior to his arrest. There were old cases, so been able to match up some more stuff. So they were going down to drop a few more pieces of paper in his lap and get a few more dollar bonds on him. So got 2 other guys that they were able to identify during the course of that. So hopefully by the end of the next couple of days, they'll have 3 of them sitting down there in the jail. That's all I've got. Anybody got any questions?
I was shocked, the Sheriff Madison. Sheriff Gaffey was supposed to be here this evening,
Yes, ma'am.
and I understand that we can reschedule that if we.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to have him up here, and just to explain to council, Shirley had asked the sheriff to come up, and the sheriff is always willing to go anywhere and talk to anybody. We thought there was going to be somewhat of a discussion on the agenda. I'm terrible at this new website because I was unable to get the agenda up until this afternoon where I could see it and read it. But Shirley and I talked on Friday, had a little bit of miscommunication and thought that it was not on there. And I said, well, he's not going to come and be an aggravation in the meeting if you don't have anything for me to talk about. So he's canceled for tonight and said he'd come back anytime, but he didn't want to take any time away from anything else y'all have.
So we schedule them for the next meeting?
I think there's been some conversation or some talk about our contract coming up for renewal next year and the need for Patrick and us to start talks and get everything working through, so hopefully it won't be a long drawn out process for everybody. So really, I think just to get a consensus for everybody, and Sheriff would like to come up and talk and work on trying to get some points and make sure everybody's happy and covered in what we're doing. And we're still up here providing service, so that's what we want.
Patrick, will you arrange that with the sheriff?
I'll be more than
At
happy.
his convenience? Thank you. Chase, sorry, you told me not to say anything, but you know, I have to. I received a call from a friend yesterday that she blew out a tire and said I had to leave work and come and change it for her. So as I was driving down the road while she was on the phone, one of the deputies got to the scene and actually pushed her car off to the side of the road, and by the time I got there, he was already changing the tire. And she asked me to make sure,
If any of you need a AAA
Deputy
service.
Kennery.
We contract him out, he can rotate your tires.
I don't think he needed a jack to lift the car.
He does it about, I told him he does it 2 or 3 times a week, he's changing tires around here, so he's
Yeah,
got
she just wanted to say thank you and make sure that you and everybody knew the exceptional service provided.
With that being said, Mayor, I have something else to say. I just read something today on our next door in our neighborhood. Somebody asked a question, did you know why 2 sheriff's cars were sitting on one on each end of one of the streets?
Iron
Just
Horse.
assuming. Huh?
Iron Horse.
Yeah, well, no, it was in Bonterra. Is that your street? Okay, all right, I'm sorry. But anyway, you might even want to tell the story.
Greenhouse.
Yeah, but anyway, they wanted to find out why the sheriff's car was there, so naturally I looked for the comments. And there were some baby ducks that got stuck in the drainage, and they were there.
Y'all wearing me out.
And talking to them.
Have crime around here.
That happened today.
In between getting ducks up and changing tires, we sometimes arrest them. That was the second dirtiest uniform guy we had, Kevin Susan Senior, who got down in the storm drain and was able to get some ducks. We stay busy.
It just goes to show how you guys care, and we appreciate you.
They'll do anything, they enjoy working.
Thank you, Chase.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll need a motion for the consent agenda. So moved. Mr. Daniels made a motion to approve. All in favor? Understand that was unanimous. Moves us to public hearings.